Namaste. So today I'm going to read Book 11, Chapter 18 on the greatness of the Devi Puja in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratu Namakaya Surya Koti Samaham Brahma Nidaviganam Kudev Sarukaya Survekatantai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Narada spoke, O Bhagavan, I am now very eager to hear the special puja of Sri Devi. The people get their desires fulfilled if they worship her. Narayana said, O Devarishi, I shall now specially speak to you how the world mother Bhagavati is worshipped, by worshipping whom one easily gets objects of enjoyment, liberation, and the destruction of all evils. Controlling one's speech and making achman, one must make one's sankalpa and perform bhuta suddhi, matrikanyasa, sadan ganyasa, placing conch shell, and doing other necessary acts. Offering the ordinary argya, one should give special argya, and with the mantra astraya pat, sprinkle over all the articles brought for worship, taking the Guru's permission. He is to go on with his puja. First worship the pita or seat whereon the Devi would be placed. Then perform dhyan, meditation of the deity. Then, with great devotion, offer to the Deva the seats, asana, and other articles of worship. Then perform the bath of the Devi by the water of the Panchamrita, the 5 nectars. If anybody performs the bath ceremony of Sri Devi with 100 jars of sugarcane juice, he will not have to incur any future birth. He who performs this bath and recites the Veda mantras with mango juice or sugarcane juice gets forever Lakshmi, ever and Saraswati bound at his doors. He who gets this sacred bath of the Devi with grape juice, along with his relatives and acquaintances, dwells in the Devi Loka for as many years as there are atoms in the juice. He who bathes the Devi with the Vedic mantras and with water scented with camphor, the fragrant aloe wood, aguru, saffron, and musk, becomes freed at once of the sins acquired in his 100 births. He who bathes the Devi with jars of milk lives in the ocean of milk, Kisira Samudra, for 1 kalpa. So he who does this bathing ceremony with jars of curd becomes the lord of Dandikunda, the reservoir of curd. He who performs the snanams of the Devi with honey, ghee, and sugar becomes the lord of these things. He who bathes the Devi with 1,000 jars becomes happy in this world, as in the next note. Make the liquid current flow pure in your body is the esoteric meaning of the bath. If you give her a pair of silken clothes, you will go to the Vayuloka. If you give her the jewel ornaments, you will become the lord of gems and jewels. Make your mind like the gem. If anybody gives saffron, sandal paste, musk, sindura, and alaktak, red things, he will go to the heavens and become there the Indra, the lord of the Devas, in the next birth. Various flowers ought to be offered in Sri Bhagavati's worship, or the flowers of the season offered to the Devi will lead the devotee to Kailasa. The devotee that offers the beautiful bay leaves to the Devi never experiences anywhere pains and difficulties. The devotee who writes the Vija mantra of Maya, Harim Bhuvaneshwaraye Nama, with red sandal paste thrice on the tri-leaves of the Vilva tree leaf and offers this to the lotus feet of the Devi becomes Manu by the merit of this virtuous act. The devotee becomes the Lord of the whole universe who worships the Devi Bhagavati with 10 millions of entire Vilva leaves, fresh, green and spotless. If any devotee worships with 10 millions of entire fresh green kunda flowers with 8 cents, he gets surely the Prajapatihood. The worship of the Devi with 10 millions of Malika and Malati flowers besmeared with 8 cents makes a man the four-faced Brahma, and 100 millions of such flowers will make the devotee a Vishnu. In days of yore, Vishnu worshipped the Devi in the aforesaid way, and so he got his Vishnuhood. If any devotee worships the Devi with 100 kotis of Malika or Malati flowers, the man becomes certainly Sutratma, Hiranyagarbha. In ancient days, Hiranyagarbha worshipped thus the Devi with great devotion, and so he became Hiranyagarbha. These Hiranyagarbha, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesha, were mere ordinary men before. See the Brihadharanyaka Upanishad. Brihadharanyaka Upanishad. Note, the 8 cents refer to Jatha Mamsi, Kapiyuta, Saktir Gandhas Takam. So will be the results of Jiva, Vanduka and Dadimi flowers be offered in the worship. Various other beautiful flowers can be offered duly to the Devi by the devotee. The merits accruing from such offers are not known even to the god Ishvara. The flowers that spring in their proper seasons are to be offered every year to the Devi, repeating her 1,000 names enumerated in the 12th book or in the Kurma Purana. If the above worship be offered to the Devi, then that man, whether he be a sinner or a great sinner, will be freed from all the sins, and after leaving his mortal coil, he will get no doubt the lotus feet of the Sri Devi Bhagavati. Offer dhupa made of black aguru, camphor sandal paste, red sandal paste, shilaka and gugula, saturated with ghee in such a way as the whole room of Sri Bhagavati scents with pure, fragrant smell. The Devi Bhagavati becomes pleased with this and offers the lordship of the 3 lokas to the devotee. The devotee who offers daily the light of camphor to the Devi goes to the Surya Loka. There is no doubt in this. With one's whole heart, one should give 100 or 1,000 lights to the Devi. The devotee should offer heaps of food consisting of 6 rasas. The plates and dishes for chewing, sucking, licking and drinking, that is, all kinds of food, solid and liquid, mountain like high, always give food on golden flat plates and cups, and various delicious, sweet, juicy, nice, heavenly fruits, nicely arranged on trays, cups and saucers. When Sri Mahadevi Bhuvaneshwari gets pleased, the whole universe gets pleased, for the whole universe is all Devi. As a rope is mistaken for a snake, so this Mahadevi is mistaken for the universe. Offer a jar of drinking Ganges water, cool and nice, scented with camphor to the Devi, then offer betals with camphor, cardamom, cloves and various delicious sweets. These all are to be offered with great devotion so that the Devi may be pleased. Next have music with lovely mridangas, flutes, murajas, dhakas and dhundubis, and so please her. The Veda mantras are to be recited, the Puranas are to be read, and the hymns to be chanted. With whole head and heart offer to the Devi the umbrella and chamara, the two kingly offerings. Then circumambulate round her and prostrate before her and ask her kindness and pray to her to forgive all faults and shortcomings. The Devi is pleased with anybody who remembers her even once. What wonder then that she will be pleased with all these offerings? The mother is naturally merciful to her child. When she is loved with devotion, then she becomes very merciful. There is nothing strange here. On this point, I'll recite to you the history of Vrihadrata Rajasi, hearing which gives rise to bhakti and love. Once in a certain region in the Himalayas, there lived a bird called Chakravak. It flew over many countries and went once to Kasidam. As a fruit of his prabdha karma, that bird, desirous to find some rice beans, voluntarily went like an orphan round about the temple of Sri Annapurna Devi. There, circumambulating round the Devi Bhagavati, the bird left the city Kashi, that grants liberation, and flew away to another country. In time, the bird left his body and went to heavens. There he assumed a heavenly form of a youth and began to enjoy various pleasures. Thus he enjoyed for 2 kalpas. Then he got back to the earth and took his birth as the best in the Kshatriya family. He became celebrated as the king Vrihadrata in this world. That king was truthful, controlled his senses, and practiced samyama and deep concentration, and knew everything of the past, the present, and the future. He conquered all the enemies and performed various sacrifices and became the emperor of the sea-girt earth and acquired the very rare faculty in the knowledge of everything of his previous births. The Munis came to know of this from various rumors and came to the king. The king Vrihadrata duly entertained those guests. The Munis took their seats and asked, "O king, we hear that all the events of previous births are vividly reflected in your memory. On this point, great doubts have come upon us. Kindly describe in detail by what punyam merits you have come to know all about previous births and the knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. We have come to you to know how you got this wonderful supersensual knowledge. Kindly say to us sincerely everything about this and oblige." Narayana said, "O Brahman, the very religious king, Vrihadrata heard them and began to speak out all the secret causes of his knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. Thus, O Munis, hear how I acquired this knowledge. In my previous birth, I was a very low bird, Chakravak. Once, out of my ignorance, I circumambulated round the temple of the Devi Bhagavati Annapurna at Kashi, and as the result of that, I lived in the heavens for a period of 2 kalpas, and I have got this birth, and I have got the knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. O you of good vows, you can ascertain what amount of merits accrues from remembering the feet of the world mother. Remembering her glories, I always shed tears of joy. Those who do not worship the adorable deity Jagadamba and the great sinners, and they are treacherous, fee on their births. The worship of Shiva or Vishnu is not eternal. Only the Jagadamba's worship is eternal. Thus, it is stated in the Shrutis, what more shall I speak on this worship of the world mother, which is void of the best trace of any doubt. Everyone ought to serve devotedly the lotus feet of the Devi Bhagavati. There is no other act more glorious in this world than serving the feet of Jagadamba. It is highly necessary to serve the highest deity, whether in her saguna or in her nirguna aspect. Eat the sugar candy, holding it in any way. It makes no difference, Narayana said, hearing the aforesaid words of the virtuous Rajasi, Vrihadrata, the Munis went back to their respective abodes. Such is the power of the Devi Jagadambika. So who can question about the certainty of the high merits arising from the Jagadambika's worship? And who will not reply? When so questioned, their births are really fruitful who possess faith in the Devi worship, but of those who have no such faith, there is some wrong mixture, no doubt, in their births. Here ends the 18th chapter of the 11th book on the greatness of the Devi Puja in the Maha Puranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kaparetra Kakashmash. Chitum Devi Jamni Chipadadi. Om Mangala Mahakale Shri Sarvata Sanjayata. Om Tuya Mata Chapita Tuya Tuya Bandus Shanti Shanti Shanti.